Beloved Saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Boaz Part 1 from the third book of Redemptive History series, The Unquenchable Lamp of the Covenant. When we look in the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew chapter 1, the 11th figure to appear in this genealogy is Boaz after Salmon. Matthew 1:5 says, Salmon the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. Boaz the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth. First, Boaz was a man of great wealth, yet a man of humility. Ruth chapter 2 verse 1 says, Now Naomi had a kinsman of her husband, a man of great wealth, of the family of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. Here, the man of great wealth in Hebrew is Ish Gibod Hail. It uses 3 words. Ish means man, Gibod means strong, and Hail means strength or wealth. And so, man of great wealth is referring to someone that has great wealth and was very influential in that region. So Boaz was such a person. However, he was also a virtuous man of humility who unreservedly associated with those under him and showed kindness and mercy to the needy. This is testified in the Bible. Little number 1. Even though Boaz was the landlord, he personally went out to the field to greet first the workers who reap crops at harvest. Ruth chapter 2 verse 4 says, Just then Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. The Lord be with you. The Lord bless you, they answered. Little number 2. Boaz ate with the workers and slept on the threshing floor. Ruth 3 verse 7 says, When Boaz had finished eating and drinking and was in good spirits, he went over to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Little number 3. Boaz had compassion for Ruth, a Gentile woman who was gleaning. Ruth chapter 2 verses 15 to 16 says, When Ruth rose to glean, Boaz commanded his servant, saying, Let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not insult her. And also you shall purposely pull out for her some grain from the bundles, and leave it that she may glean, and do not rebuke her. In such a way, Boaz was truly a simple man who did not boast in his authority, and he was a kind man who showed mercy to the needy. On the other hand, Ruth was descended from a Moabite whom God cursed. She had lost her husband during a most difficult time due to extreme famine and had to live a shunned life in a foreign land. However, all the glory, wealth, and happiness that the prominent man Boaz had became Ruth's when they married. Everyone, this brings to mind our Lord Jesus Christ. The reason is because he abandoned his glorious throne in heaven and had to come down to the earth. He also always showed his care for even one of the least. Matthew 18 verse 10 says, See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you that their angels in heaven continually see the face of my Father who is in heaven. This is what Jesus said. Also, Jesus thoroughly emptied and lowered himself to become the sinner's friend. Philippians chapter 2, verses 6 to 7 says, Who, although he existed in the form of God, did not regard equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself, taking the form of a bondservant and being made in the likeness of men. Everyone, like Ruth, we were under the bondage of eternal death and totally alienated from the possibility of becoming a part of the chosen people. We deserve no rights or power or even acknowledgement. However, We received all of the wealth, glory, and happiness of our Lord Jesus Christ freely by coming under his wings and becoming his bride. There is no greater happiness on earth. Beloved saints, just like Ruth, who received great happiness by marrying Boaz, a man of great wealth, but a man of humility, let us enjoy great joy by becoming the bride of Jesus, who is the perfect example of humility and the root of all creation. I bless in the name of the Lord.